They say that every picture tells a story, and pictures of all kinds can provide plenty of inspiration for writers and opportunities for storytelling. And even if you can't visit a gallery in person, there are virtual tours available on gallery and museum websites. I've chosen a painting from the National Gallery in London, The Bathers at Asnières by French artist Georges Seurat, painted in 1884. The first thing I'd say is, don't worry if you're not familiar with this picture or the artist. It's more about how it makes you feel, how it makes you think. And don't worry if you don't like it. Just keep an open mind. The first thing I'd suggest is you have a good look at the painting and jot down some initial thoughts. What's your gut reaction? Do you like it or dislike it? And if so, why? Is it realistic? Does it make you feel sad, happy, or curious? Once you've had a chance to do that, then look at the painting in more detail. Look at the four corners, around the edges, in the middle. As with stories, a painting is made up of a number of elements. The first is setting, which is a vital component. Where might this be? Well, the artist tells us it's Asnières, a suburb of Paris, in the 1880s. But if you didn't know that, you could reimagine it as a suburb of any industrial city at that time. There's a grassy bank along the left-hand side with trees, and then trees on the far side, and we can see a very small amount of that bank. But the two sides are joined by a very modern-looking bridge, and alongside that there's a factory and a number of chimneys belching smoke. In fact, the blue summer sky is partially obscured by smog. This isn't a pastoral idyll. This is a modern landscape. The time is summer. Some of the characters at least, have removed their shirts and their hats. It's a hot day. But we don't know if this is their lunch break or if it's after work or possibly a holiday. The second element to look at is the characters, and there are a number of figures in this landscape. Our eye is drawn first of all to the young man in the centre of the picture. Although he's relaxed and he's stripped off his shirt, he's not looking very happy. He's gazing out across the water with a very forlorn expression on his face. Perhaps he's lost his job. Perhaps he's lost his girlfriend. We don't know. In front of him is a young boy who's whistling. He looks a bit more cheerful. Could they be brothers? And in the front left of the picture is a man in a bowler hat with a white coat. Could he be another relation? Possibly their supervisor from the factory. We don't know. That's for us to read between the lines and decide. And there are other minor characters in the background. And if you look out to the right-hand side in the distance, in the middle of the river is a rowing boat, with a woman with a parasol and a man in a tall hat, being rowed across by a man in shirt sleeves. They're very much a middle-class couple taking their leisure, in contrast to the working men on the left-hand bank. Another thing to think about is plot. What is going on in this picture? The figures are static. There's no action as such apart from the boat moving across the river. But we can imagine what might have happened immediately before this scene, what has led up to this moment in time, and what might happen afterwards. What could be going on at the periphery of this picture? What is happening on the opposite bank? What is out there? Because all of these characters, apart from one small figure in the water, all of them are looking across the river to the other side. Even the little dog is looking eager, anticipating something on the water. How does this picture make you feel? What is the overall mood? What do you think the artist might be trying to say? Now, obviously, we can't interrogate Seurat and ask him, although you may want to read about him and find out what he was saying with this piece. But as it stands, we just need to use our imagination and decide what the painter was trying to tell us. I hope that this has given you some ideas, and the next time that you look at a painting, perhaps you can use it as a starting point for a new story.